All right, welcome back to Soccer Over Gotham. You guys know this is some of my favorite segments. This is the season 3 regular season awards show as voted on by you guys, the fans, over on our Twitter at Over Gotham Pod. Thanks to everyone who voted. There is so much to talk about. Everything is always better with friends. So, of course, we brought back best friend of the show, Jenna Tonelli, of the Equalizer and everything else. How are you, Jenna?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me back. And I was just thinking, we are now wrapping up our third season
Right?
of covering this team. Like, we've known each other for like years, plural.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of
Yeah.
crazy. So it's just been so fun, like, this ride with you two. And I'm always so grateful to come on and chat with you. So thank you so much for having me back. But yeah, I mean, another season in the books. What a season it was. Just so impressed with Gotham overall this season. What a turnaround from last season. They basically stayed above that playoff line the entire time. They made it into the playoffs. I won't miss those Sunday night drives back from Red Bull, but I am bummed we won't have a home match this weekend. So I guess kind of the silver lining, but they're in the playoffs. That's all that matters. And I'm just really excited to see what happens this weekend.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We've been through that whole evolution of Gotham, the lows and the highs, technically. So it's really impressive how far they've gotten. And like you said, they're now in the playoffs. Doesn't matter what happened before that. They have a championship to win now.
Let's get to why we're here, which is the fan vote the awards show. First, we always start with a poll I do not make, which is goalkeeping, because why would I? And so I'm just curious your thoughts on goalkeeping this season, obviously how good Abby Smith was, and how good Mandy has been.
Yeah, I mean, Abby Smith was just unreal. Huge part of the reason for this team's success, huge part of the reason why Gotham has, like, I think it was the third lowest goals allowed in the league. And her injury was devastating. I just felt so bad for her, first and foremost, and for the team. But Gotham is a so well-constructed team that they still had Mandy Hott and Michelle Betos on the bench. And Mandy stepped up. She stepped up and she did what she needed to do. And actually, it's been a real pleasure getting to watch her play, because in 2021, when she was kind of riding the bench, I was always so curious to see what she had in store. So it's just been nice to, again, a silver lining, getting to see her step up. And yeah, Gotham has a good goalkeeping unit. So
Exactly. She does. And Abby Smith, like you said, unreal. She's like superwoman in the net. I believe it is very unfortunate what happened to her with the injury, and we haven't seen her play since. Hopefully, she gets better soon. We want to see her back with Gotham either. I don't think this season, but maybe next season. And Mandy, like you said, she has stepped up, and it's incredible to see, like, also how she has evolved with Gotham from, like you said, being the third keeper to now being the starter keeper for Gotham. That's incredible. And honestly, I see her growing into the league. If she's not the starter keeper next season, I know some other team is going to want her because she's been really, really good.
Yeah, I think this is a great place to start this award show, because we were talking about like where we are right now. Abby was like, I think she had like 8 starts and like 4 saves of the week, or like 3 saves of the week and 1 player of the week or something like that. She was so good. And if you think back to like how tight this race was at the end of the season, we were like 1 goal away from being like in the shield hunt and 1 goal from not being in the playoffs. And
Yeah.
how many times did Abby like save our butts early in the season, made that 1 save every game to like save points, and she doesn't make one of those saves, we're not in the playoffs.
Yep.
So we owe a lot to Abby. But as you guys know, I am a huge Mandy Hott fan. I think her ceiling is insanity. I think she could be like an American Kaylin Sheridan. I think she has the same type of distribution, range, and command. I think she could be really, really good. And coming along with that is, she does make some of the Kaylin Sheridan mistakes, like she did this week. But
my heart was
yeah,
heart rate was a little through the roof there. But I think a lot of that also has to do with the style of play that Juan has them playing, with that super high press and having the goalkeeper like in like Guam, basically, like all halfway up the field. But She's been great, and I agree with you, Gary. I think she has a incredibly high ceiling.
Yeah, and let's not act like Abby didn't have her moments too early in the season.
Oh my gosh, yeah, a couple of scary moments for sure.
But yeah, we're definitely lucky to have both of them, and it's something I talk about a lot is how talented and how deep the goalkeeping pool is. But let's move over to our first award, which was originally the Rookie of the Year, but now it is Young Player of the Year since we only have one rookie. But I like to take a look at these as in telling a story. So last season, at the end of the season, it was Taryn Torres who won 53% of the vote. She had a great season. And again, we're bummed that she is not with us this season. This season, at the middle of the season, it was nearly dead even with Neiswanger and Bruninia. Neiswanger barely overtook Bruninia, 48% to 40%. And at the end of the season, it is all Jenna Neiswanger, 78%. Bruninia's down to 15%. So obviously the World Cup plays into that as well. But Jenna, your thoughts on the best young player?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in agreement. Obviously, love to see another Jenna excel. But I think just Neiswanger has been incredible. I mean, in my opinion, she's the Rookie of the Year. She not only took on a brand new position in a brand new system, she excelled, and she was instrumental in getting Gotham into the postseason. She became their leading penalty taker after Christy was away at World Cup and then injured, and she's just really flourished. And just seeing how her growth this season and how she's contributed to this team has just been incredibly impressive. I mean, Brunini is also incredible, as is Yasmin Ryan and Delaney Sheehan, who were the other choices on this poll. But I think for me, just all that Jenna has done, adapting to the new role and contributing on the field, she gets my vote for sure.
Yeah, I mean, out of the four, she's the one who stood out most of the season or all of the season. Like you said, yeah, World Cup has to do with it. But yeah, we have seen Jenna do incredible things. She has taken penalties, like stone cold penalties, like just go out there. I don't think she ever looked like a rookie to me. She always looked like so confident on the field. She knew what she was going for. She goes up, she goes down, she defends, she attacks, she's everywhere. I'm all for Jenna here.
Yeah, and thinking about, how razor thin the league is, but with Jenna, she didn't declare for the draft till the last possible second. And so we are lucky. She was, I think originally it was supposed to play overseas, but somehow it either didn't work out or she decided to stay here. But we're all better for it, and we're glad that she did. And having one rookie and having it be that rookie is pretty incredible. And I think from the minute she stepped on the field, she was at a high level, and you knew this was not a normal rookie. Like, she's wise beyond her years, and we're going to talk about this later, but that goal she scored from like outside 30 yards out against the OL Reign on a rope to the far post was like, that was like her like announcing that she not only, she's for real. And again, I'm just glad we have her, and her ceiling is ridiculous. And I'm kind of mad that she's not in the national team camp this month, but maybe soon enough she'll get there. All right, so discussion questions to break this up a little bit. I'm curious your thoughts on the new trophy.
About time.
Yes.
Sorry, I almost made Gary do a spit take there of his seltzer. I
was just waiting for someone to say something because, yes, about time. I've been asking for this for like the longest. I was like, that trophy is like ridiculous. Is this like high school? No, come on. Give these players something to lift that's like classy, like something that they deserve. And I'm so glad they finally redesigned the trophy.
Yeah.
And it looks so freaking cool. And it's gonna look even better here at Gotham.
There you go.
I agree with everything you just said. Nothing else to add.
Yeah, it's not a cup, but
I know that's the only thing. I wish they could drink out of it.
Yeah, it's one of those. It looks like the World Cup trophy, so it's going to be beautiful, especially when, again, you said as Gotham will be lifting that hopefully at the end of the season.
And it's from Tiffany's, so that's great too.
That is true.
And they're also redesigning the shield. So next year we're also going to get a new shield. Thank God.
Mm-hmm. No more appetizer plate.
That's true.
When they were giving the shield to the Wave, I think to Alex Morgan, it kind of looked like a plastic silver plate. I was like, oh.
I mean, it's like barely a step up from that. Like, let's be honest. But no, it's just great all around. And, these things take time, and it probably should have been done sooner, but I'm just glad to see that they are doing it, because it's a mark of a league that's serious and is going to be sticking around for a lot longer. It's great.
All right, on to best defender. Krieger won it last season.
See what you did there.
Yeah. She won it in the mid-season. She won it at the end of the season. Yeah, I think Bernina is the only one who cracked 25% of the vote. So, and that was mid-season, but it's been all Krieger. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, Allie freaking Krieger. Just look at her performance last weekend. She's running around after kids half her age, and she's keeping up with them. She has it locked down as center back. Her leadership on the back line and in the team in general. It's just, when she was out with injuries, it wasn't the same. It really wasn't the same. Just what she brings is irreplaceable. She will really be missed next season. And I know, we'll probably talk about this more in the off-season stuff, but that's a position that they're going to really have to look at, I think, their back line and their center backs in the off-season. So, yeah, for me, it's Krieger all the way.
Yeah, Gotham definitely has big shoes to fill there with Krieger. Once she's gone, I don't even know what we're going to do. Hopefully, I don't know. Like, I don't want to think about it. I mean, there's still time. She can come back for one more season while we figure it out.
She's tired.
She is tired, and she has 2 kids to take care of. So, yeah, we understand. It's her time. And I mean, she had such an incredible career. And like you said, she's running next to all these young kids out there, and she doesn't miss a beat. She's out there doing she looks like she's
clearances.
Exactly. Like you said, just this past game, she showed what she's made of, and come back.
I know.
Yes. Next question.
Yeah.
Now, just how good that she has been is just incredible. Not only just on the field as a leader, outside the field, she's been amazing. But there was a stat that was pulled up by The Athletic, and I think is just one of the most ridiculous stats I've ever heard, that the dribble pass rates, as far as defenders, the average dribble pass rate is around 25 to 33%. You can get past a defender. Allie Krieger got dribbled past 4.8% of the time, which is absolutely insanity. That is, I can't even imagine being able to pull that off at her age, whatever. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And there was a moment in this past game where she got on the touchline with Cooper. And Cooper is a big, physical, young athlete. She's a stud. She's going to be a great player for a long time. And Allie just didn't bait. She didn't bite. And she got her to not only make the tackle, but to push the ball back off of Cooper for a corner kick. And I just remember that moment going, man, she's still got it.
Mm-hmm.
She has still got it. Man, it's going to be a bummer when she retires. Going to be a bummer. So, bonus question. Jenna, what was your favorite interview this season? I know you've done so many.
Interview I've done? I thought you meant interview you had on the podcast when I saw the question.
No.
Oh, crap.
Or both. I don't know. Both.
I mean, I'm my own favorite interview. No, I'm kidding. Gosh, there's so many to pick from. I don't even. Okay. Sinead Farley, when I interviewed her for the New York Post, that was. There was so much that I couldn't fit into the article because it went to print, which was my first ever print article, which was so meaningful, for me. That one that I got something in print, but two, that it was that story, Sinead's amazing story, that I think has to probably be my just favorite piece. And the conversation that we had was just so I couldn't fit everything in. It was just so deep and just so inspirational, honestly, just to hear her talk and to talk one-on-one with her about what she went through and her comeback and what it's meant to her. And it was one of the first interviews. I think it was only the second interview that she had done since like one-on-one. I think she did one first with Meg and then with me, Meg Linehan, of course, for The Athletic. So it was just, an unreal conversation. I just feel so honored to help tell that story for her. But other ones that stick out, I mean, I also spoke to Lynn Williams a few times. One went in the Post as well, also went to print, which was really cool. And then, kind of going to hashtag once Gotham, the Becky Tweed and what she's doing over in Angel City. That was just, she's so fun. And what she's doing is just honestly incredible. And the fact that Angel City is in the playoffs in 5th place is just like such a testament, I think, to her and her coaching. And we saw that firsthand here when she was at Gotham. So yeah, it's a little bit of a long answer, but too many to pick from, really. And of course, Allie Krieger, talking to her. I talked to her when she announced her retirement. I mean, she's just a class act. It's just always so great to talk to her.
Yeah, I was proud of you when I saw you got to do Sinead Fairley. I was like, that's awesome. That must be so amazing for her to be able to do that. It's like just to prep for that. That's been incredible.
It was just, she's great. Just has been so open. And actually she did a post game a couple games ago, and I've just been so busy, but she kind of talked a little bit more about like reflecting on the season. And I hope to get something out on that, before the championship. I just have so much on my plate, but she's just great. She's just an incredible person. And it's just, I just feel so honored that I got to cover her comeback and get to watch her play, because holy crap, what a player.
What about you, Ruby? What's your favorite interview this season?
I think I have 2. Definitely Jasmine Ryan. She's so much fun to talk to. When she came, she's so much fun. She's such a great person to talk to. And then Menzies, he has stories for days. He really does have stories for days. And I really, even though I think you and I didn't spoke much in that interview, we didn't really, he was really easy to talk to, because he literally gave us like from the beginning till the end, like what happened with the Reggae Girls. And we also got to know a little bit more what happened with Gotham that time when he took over as interim coach. And we knew that the Shield was in Red Bull Arena.
Okay.
He confirmed it.
I heard that is not true. That it wasn't at Red Bull Arena. But I don't know. That I was told it wasn't actually there.
Yeah, he says it was.
It's a mystery.
It could have been just like using it as fodder, like saying that it was there just to get people hyped up and mad that it was there. But.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I have like a very vivid memory of like, we asked Ify in the post game, like, oh, did you see it? Is it like actually here? And she starts like bursting out laughing, and she's like, actually, I have no idea. I didn't see it.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to ask like every player now.
No, we're gonna. It's like a new mystery. Was the Shield there? Hilarious.
I would probably agree with you, Ruby. I think Menzies was probably the most fun, just because it was like I was not expecting to get him. I was like, maybe I'll shoot my shot. I'll email him, and I emailed like his team in Florida. I was like, all right, maybe if he sees it, whatever, he's probably gonna say no. But like half hour later, it was like, sure, that's it. That's like all it said. I was like,
amazing.
Okay.
Always shoot your shot. That's like my honestly, that's been my motto since I've started doing this. Is like the worst that can be said is no, and then you shoot your shot.
Yeah, right.
I got one more. Baxter. Oh my God. Baxter's always a party. Love her, and she's always like, whenever you want me to go, I'll be there. I'll be like, great.
She's so funny.
Yeah.
Love Baxter.
She's obviously a fan favorite. I think every time she's been on the show, it's been like numbers. It's been good. Yeah, fans just absolutely love her. Got to have her back on regularly. She's so much fun.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump over to best midfielder last season. It was Mewis at 66%. And then this year, during the middle of the season, it was also Mewis at 50%. And now, this is an interesting one. This was like 25 pretty much percent all the way across Fairley, Sheehan, Mewis, and Martin. And I think that's fitting.
Yeah.
Your thoughts, Jenna?
Yeah, I when I saw that, I was like, that makes complete sense, because it's such a hard question. The midfield has really been marred by injury this season, which has made I think has made it really tough. So it's really hard to like say who's like the best, because I think everybody has like stepped up at different times and kind of done what needs to be done in those different times. Obviously, Mewis being away at the World Cup and then coming back with the injury. I don't really know the timing of all that, but she hasn't played in a long time, so it couldn't have been her. I think Sheehan has been so fun and interesting to watch. I mean, her hold-up play has been so good. I really haven't seen something like that on Gotham in a long time. Martin has stepped up, like just been, it's not her natural position, but she's been great. So I think I agree. I mean, I know Farley just eked it out here. And I think I have to agree, because if I had to pick, because whether she starts, whether she comes off the bench, she has a spark, she brings a bite, her skill on the ball is just absolutely incredible. And just like the fact that she was away from the game for over 6 years and came back and is one of the team's best midfielders. I mean, it's just incredible. So I would agree. I think it's a tough question because of everything I just said, but I think that Sinead kind of edging out the rest makes a lot of sense given all the context.
Yeah, I do have to agree that everyone really stepped up in their own way when needed to be, especially during the World Cup that we had a lot of people missing. I mean, just Martin got like her contract renewed till 2026.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. A thing to like for her to come back to the club until 2026. That's just a testament of her skills in the midfield. I really do miss Mewis being at Gotham right now. Like you said, I don't even know how she got injured or where. She only played a minute at the World Cup. Maybe at training. That's what I'm thinking. Like, because I am trying to figure it out. Like, how did she get injured? Because she didn't play at the World Cup. Maybe at training she did get injured. Hopefully we get to see her back soon. Probably is not going to happen. But I don't want to give it to one person. I think everyone stepped up.
Mm-hmm.
Fair. I think we have to look back and see that Muse had a really good first half of the season. She was creating like 2 chances like a match. I think she was one of the top chance creators in the league.
Yes.
And she was on a mission to make that World Cup roster.
Yes.
And obviously we don't know why she's still away. And hopefully she gets back soon, because having that weapon in your arsenal is pretty crazy. And knowing that we have Ali Long on this roster and she did not make this list either is still pretty crazy too. This is how deep it is.
Remember that set piece?
Yes.
Oh my God. Crazy good.
Yeah. But again, shout out to the young players. And this is as deep as a midfield as you're going to get, and they've all earned their spots. So yeah, I could go with either one of them, but I will give it to Martin just because of how far she's come. And, again, to play a new position, to earn a long-term contract, and to keep Ali Long off the field is pretty ridiculous. So yeah, not bad. All right, let's move over to the discussion questions. What was your expectations for Gotham going into this season? And if Gotham doesn't win anything, is this still a success for you, Jenna?
My expectations were not low, but like none, if that makes sense. Like, it's not that I had like low expectations or high expectations. I just didn't have any, because anything would be better than whatever the heck happened last year, to be frank. So I didn't come in with any expectations whatsoever. So to me, they've exceeded them. They've exceeded none. I mean, they made it back to the playoffs. They stayed above the playoff line most of the season. I think all of the season. I have to just fact check myself on that. If they don't win anything, will it be a success? Yes, I do. I think in talking to Yael and players and Juan over the past few months, they wanted to make it into the playoffs. That's the goal. Obviously, the goal is championship. The Shield, like you want to win those, but making it to the playoffs, I think, seemed to be the mark that they were trying to hit, and they did. Now, if they did that in 2021, feels like they just really snuck it in there in 2021. Like, this seems a little bit more like they did it. So I would say if they can at least make it to the semifinals, like, to me, like, that's like a roaring success for this team from last year. Now, if they could make it to the finals, great. If they could win, amazing. But I think ultimately, I would still consider the season a success, even if it does end in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, it's definitely a success if we see it from a point of view from last year, where they were like dead last dead last year. So I think I'm with Jenna. I didn't really have an expectation as long as we were not last again. We have to remember we had a new coach, so
Mhm.
new coaching staff as well. That's a different dynamic for most of the players. We have new players as well coming into the club. So that's difficult for everyone to like get chemistry on the field and off the field, and that takes time. Usually, like when the year that happens, that year is kind of like the building year, like you're trying to get back there to make it into the playoffs. It's really impressive because this is their building year for Gotham. So they're into the playoffs. Doesn't matter how it happened. They're there. They were in like high on the table the majority of actually all of the season. They were like fourth, fifth, third. They were even in first place this season. So I think they actually exceeded my expectation.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I believe that at the beginning of the season, if I'm being consistent, I said that this team has the roster and the coaching staff to win something. And I wanted this team to win something, right? I thought the best chance was the Challenge Cup. We were inches close to getting closer to the final there. And I didn't expect us to be in the Shield hunt. And so that is a huge success for this team to go from like historically bad to they went to seventh place once in the second week of the season and did not drop below the playoff line the entire rest of the season. Insanity to be able to pull that off after the season they had last season. So, yeah, it's a success for me. Yeah, I want more. But yeah, I got to give it to the coaching staff and Yael and all them. They did a fantastic job. More butts in the seats, more revenue. Everything has been much better. So yeah, I would say a success for me. Let's get over to the attacker of this season. Now, last season, it was Monahan at 42%. Smith, Anamanu, and Purse were the other also ran. And at the mid of the season, it was just Lynn Williams at 100%. And at the end of the season, she is still the best attacker at 79% over Stengel, Ryan, and Purse. We all agree?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think overall, when you look at the season as a whole, you have to give it to Lynn. I mean, leading goal scorer for the team, even if she missed some time for the World Cup and didn't score as much towards the end. We had Stengel, Purse, Esther Gonzalez, and Ryan kind of picking up that slack there a little bit. I mean, Yasmin has been doing so much quiet work, I think, to make sure the strikers can shine. But yeah, full picture of the season, it's absolutely Lynn Williams. She's a franchise player.
Yes. Everything that Jenna said. Yes.
Yeah, what I love about Lynn is if we talk about last season, this team did not have a number 10. Not in like on the field, but like number 10 in like a player that wants to be that franchise player.
Mm-hmm.
And Lynn came in and wore the number 10 and she acted like it. She was the focal point of the offense. She put the team on her back when this team was like, close to losing games. Like as much as Abby Smith was putting this team on her back, so was Lynn. And she's putting in like shifts on both offensive and defensive side of the ball. But she was been amazing. And she's put this team on her back in the first half of the season. And I think the most remarkable thing about her is that obviously she's one of the best goal scorers in the league history. But I don't think that really matters too much to her. Like it seems like she's in a secondary role now with Esther, and I don't think she cares. I think she just wants to win, and she'll do anything. She'll play any role and do anything she can to win a game. And I'm just really really glad that she's here. But yeah, I agree that it is absolutely Williams. This is going to be an interesting question. I want to turn this into a fan poll myself. But what is your goal? What is your goal of the season?
Ooh.
Like goals scored or like my personal goals?
Mm-hmm. No, like goals scored of a player on the season.
No, just kidding. That is so hard. 3 stand out, which is the Ali Long set piece, the Jenna Nicelonger one that we were just talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, also the Bruninha goal. That was great. Yasmin's goal this weekend was a screamer. Lynn's Angel City goal, the first one in the first game, just because it like opened up the whole season. I don't know. I can't even pick.
You're missing a. I'm surprised you're missing this one.
Which one?
It is Zerboni's goal from like 40 yards out.
Oh my God.
right.
Zerboni has been amazing.
Right?
Oh my God. I can't believe I forgot that goal out of nowhere. She was just like,
Yeah.
And the look on her face after that confidence and like peak McCall Zerboni was right there.
Miss her so much on the field.
Yes. But
I don't know if I could pick one of them, but I'm definitely going to put them, out for the fans to decide.
Yeah.
Obviously, Ryan's was everything that we knew Ryan could do all season. It was the promise that she made to us, and she finally fulfilled it, man. Wow. Incredible. I think that goal would make Midge Purse blush if she saw that. Just cutting through all those players. Wow. But Ruby, what do you think?
But I mean, you're right. There has been so many great goals this season that it's hard just to pick one. It's so hard to just pick one. Bruninha, Williams, Neiswanger, Zerboni have all made incredible goals. It's so hard to pick just one.
And Esther's.
Yes. Like on her first game, she comes and
Singles, first goal.
Like all these players have like done incredible like with these goals. It's so hard just to pick one. But this is not from this season. But do you remember that? I think it was Anumanu's goal, and then it was a corner.
Oh please don't! Why would you traumatize us again? Oh my God!
We're looking forward. We're not going back.
God, that was truly traumatic.
All right. We can't decide, so we're going to leave it to the fans. I got to find clips for all those goals.
I know. That McCall goal, that's right. That was so good.
Yeah. All right. Let's get to MVP. And last year, it was Krieger at 63.2%. And we had Dorsey, Zerboni, and Mewis on there. And mid-season, it was Williams at 57%. And Krieger was only 23%, which is surprising. And then at the end of the season, it is 50% Krieger, Williams at almost 30%, Neiswanger and Abby Smith around 10%. Your thoughts, Jenna?
Yeah, I mean, this is such an interesting one because it's obviously she's retiring and we all want to give her well-deserved flowers. I think for me, if Abby Smith had not been injured and had stayed in, she would have been my MVP. I think Lynn is very well deserving of the MVP accolade. I mean, like we were just saying, franchise player who helped turn this team around and quite literally put them on the board, even with that chunk spent away from international duty. But Krieger makes a lot of sense in a team full of leaders and a team full of MVPs. She's been consistent. She's a leader. Her play, like we just were talking about, has not dipped really. It's just been fantastic to watch her play. And so I completely get and agree with her being the MVP of the season.
For me, well, we have players here in different positions. So we have goalkeeper, we have striker, we have defense here. So it's kind of hard to just pick one person because I think they all are really good in their position. Like if I could be like MVP Krieger, defense MVP Smith because of goalkeeping and Williams MVP for, all the goals she has made, like they all deserve it. It's really hard to just pick one, but if I do have to pick one, I would say Williams as well. I would say Williams. Why? Because you have to make goals to win.
Yeah, I think if you look at him like individually, I think Williams what could have been if she didn't go to the World Cup, because that obviously takes her down a peg. She was able to continue her goal scoring foray. And then just to have Neiswanger on this list is, again, says a lot about her as a player. Yeah. All these players are ridiculous players, and her to be on that list again as a rookie, good for her. Krieger, of course, the captain of the team. I think that probably would be my MVP pick. But again, with Abby Smith, I was well on the record, forcing the Abby for MVP. I was trying to get the league to recognize this because she was killing it. And again, I think she could have been the first goalkeeper MVP if she kept up what she was doing earlier.
I agree.
Incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, last discussion question, I believe. Yes. What do you think Gotham's chances are at the title?
Yes. That's my answer. Any team on any day could win that title. Any of these teams in the playoffs, and any of the teams not in the playoffs could compete for that. So I think they have just as good of a chance as any of the other teams in there right now. They just have to be a little bit more consistent in front of goal, kind of clean up some of the defensive mistakes. But they're a real threat. So I think that they are very capable of it.
What do you think, Ruby?
They have a good chance. I mean, this season, as we've seen, it's been very, very competitive with all these teams. For example, Angel City, we saw Angel City like at the bottom of that table before Becky Tweed took over. And now they're in the playoffs when that seemed kind of impossible. It became possible. So anything is possible for Gotham right now. They could easily make it to the finals for me.
Yeah, the hard part is over. They're in. They're in the playoffs. And essentially, all they have to do is win 3 games in a row, which is not crazy.
The hard part
No.
is
Not
over,
crazy.
is it?
It is. They're in the playoffs. Anything can happen.
It's true.
When you're in the playoffs.
True. And they could
Getting to
easily
the
win
playoffs-
3 games in a
Yeah.
row. They could.
Yep. Getting into the playoffs is the hardest part. Once you're in, you got as good a chance of any. Last season, KC went to the championship as a 5th seed, not too far off as from the 6th seed this season.
Yeah.
They're as talented as anybody else, and they are the second best team on the road. So I think they can do it. It's going to be a journey.
It's interesting that you say that about them being the second best team on the road, because when they didn't secure the home match, I wasn't that upset about it, because I actually was thinking their away record is quite good. I feel fully confident in them, in their ability to do this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree.
Now, Jenna, tell us, do you see any of these games for Gotham ending in penalties?
Oh my God. Yes, only because it's going to come back to bite me in the butt, because I'm such a little pot stirrer about penalties in other games that don't affect me. And so I could absolutely see me having brought bad vibes upon this. So I'm personally hoping that Gotham is able to just win these games in regulation time. Oh my gosh. But if it has to go to penalties for them to win, I guess that's okay. But I hope they just win so that doesn't have to happen. I wasn't even thinking about that, Ruby. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It would be what I deserve, not what they deserve, but.
All right, this is my favorite category, because as you know, I like interviewing the players that don't get a lot of press. They need their stories told too, and I like talking about the players that go a little bit under the radar, that do a lot of the dirty work underneath, and again, don't get the recognition for it. So this is our Game Changer Award. Yeah, mid-season, we had Zerboni at 31%, Sheehan at 51%, and we had Jean and Martin in there as well. At the end of the season, it was Zerboni winning at 40%, Taylor Smith at 31%, Mandy Haught and Jean at about 15%. Your thoughts, Jenna?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's McCall, 1,000%. Her ACL injury was devastating. She was having one of the best seasons that she's had since 2019, honestly. She was still getting starts at times, or she was coming off the bench and just making a difference. You could tell, it was so funny. I'd be watching a game, I'd be like, this game needs Zerboni. And then Juan would put her in, and she was tearing it up, scoring that goal. I mean, I was so upset for her with that injury. But actually, a funny story, not last weekend, but the home game prior to that, I was coming up the stairs to go to the press room at Red Bull Arena, and I saw her taking the stairs with her knee. And I was like, I mean, that just, I think, says everything about who she is. She is just her work rate, the fact that she could have just taken the elevator, it was right there, but she's going up the stairs. And I think the team really missed her this back half of the season, and she was 100% the game changer of this team.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Just seeing her, how she's been recovering on Instagram, it's really, really, really surprising, of her recovery time. And like you just said, she was going up the stairs. I would be on the couch.
No.
But yeah, she has been the game changer for me as well. It's very, very unfortunate that she had to get injured and she needed surgery because, and it's not that she doesn't give 100% every time that she plays on the pitch, but this season there was like something different about her. There
I
was
think she
something
fit in
different.
with this system. I think the system worked for her a lot better, and I totally agree.
Yeah, definitely. The system worked for her. Her mentality, her mindset was different this season. And I just saw her out there giving 120% for the team. And she will get that, like, she will get knocked down and she will be up right away and making goals, making runs, defending and attacking. It was just incredible to see her out there. And it was really an honor to see her play. And hopefully we get to see her back with Gotham next year.
Agree.
Yeah, I do also agree that it is Zerboni, but I think this is interesting that in the middle of the season, we did have Martin and Sheehan as game changers, and they did not make the end of the season award show because they're not game changers anymore. They're starters,
Mm-hmm.
and good on them. And yeah, Zerboni was having an incredible season. And I echo everything you said about her recovery is, again, as someone who's been through it twice, and, I was a rehab assistant for a little bit. Hashtag no side hustles while I was playing when I was playing soccer. So yeah, she's doing incredible, and I can't wait to see her back on the field. Hopefully, again, is with Gotham. All right, that is the end of our award show. We're not going to get a chance to do this often, so I think we should leave on a very positive note and give our thanks to the MVP, Ali Krieger. Jenna, you want to go first?
Absolutely. And Gary, I know you have a little novel coming, so I will keep mine pretty short. Just kind of echo what I've already said on Twitter. When Krieger came to Gotham, didn't really know what to make of it. Obviously, I knew she would bring in some more fans, but she has done so much more than that. She's exceeded all expectations from her play on the field, her leadership on and off the field. I think she's truly made Gotham a better place and a better team. She's a legend on a national, international level. She's fought for equal pay. She's provided a safe space for LGBTQ plus fans. And she's truly just one of the best people I've ever had the honor of interacting with in this space. I just want to say thank you, Ali. Thank you for all you've given us over the years. Best of luck on your next chapter, and we are all rooting for you.
Definitely. She has had, I'm just saying, what an extraordinary career for her. We find ourselves just reflecting on the immense impact that Ali has had in the world of soccer. It is with great admiration that we celebrate her legendary journey. And I cannot wait to see what comes next as she steps into a new chapter of her life in retirement. I know a lot of good things are going to come for her coming up after she leaves soccer. I mean, her story is one of inspiration, determination, and just commitment to the beautiful game. And just from her earliest days on the soccer pitch, it was clear that she possessed like a rare talent, very special talent out there. Her journey, it's been very remarkable, becoming an international soccer star. And it, again, nothing short but remarkable. We remember like her countless times that she wore that U.S. women's national team jersey, 108 caps. It's a statement of enduring, of dedication, of representing her country. She's just so incredible. And like you mentioned, she used her platform for LGBTQ rights and equal pay. She amplified what it means to use her influence for a greater cause. And I could go on and on and on and on about Ali Krieger. And I just want to say thank you for being a shining star that you are, Ali, out there. And you have left the mark in the soccer world. We're going to be eternally grateful for who you are and what you did for everyone.
Agreed, Ruby. I think my little thing here in summary is that Ali sets the standard. And I think that is, I think, everything. She sets the standard wherever she is, whether it's on the field, off the field. I don't know, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I had a conversation with a youth player, and they asked me like, what like can I do? Like, what advice could you give me to so I can go if I want to go pro? And I told him like the number one thing you could possibly do is be coachable. Like it doesn't matter if you're like super talented or work really hard. If you're not doing what the coach wants you to do, or if you don't understand what the coach wants from you, then you're not going to make it. I know players that are way more talented than I'll ever dream of, and they never made it to be pro. And here I am, I got a chance to do that for a little bit because I was coachable. I would listen to the coach, ask the coach questions, figure out what he wants for me to do, and do whatever he wanted me to do. Right. And I think Allie is the personification of that. You can tell that her father was a coach because she just gets everything right. And she's always talking to the coaches. She's always talking to the refs. She's always talking to the other players and figuring out where everyone should be. And she just knows. She's just a coach on the field, and she just gets everything right. I know it's kind of funny because you watch her play and she'll make a pass it's just not perfect. It's a good pass, but it's just not perfect. And she immediately puts her hand up and is like, I made a mistake. Sorry, everybody. Like, it's on me. And I'm like, not everything has to be perfect, but for her, like, it has to be. And she does that. And I always said this when we first got her on the team, that I think she's one of my favorite players to watch just because I know how obsessed she is with getting everything right. And those are some of the favorite players that I've ever played with, had the same mentality. I know that I said something like, if you just turn the lights off, like I know I could play the ball over there and Allie will be there because that's where she's supposed to be. Because she just understands everything. She understands the assignment. And last season, when I said that she could be a good defensive midfielder, because I just know that she would understand the assignment and she knows what's required of her in that position. And she did it. She could play forward. She could play goalkeeper. She just would just understand where to be, all that. And that's just on the field stuff. Like off the field, as you guys both said, that she is a legendary, human rights, LGBTQ rights, and she was always unapologetic about being who she was. And just the fact of her being who she is opened the door for so many people, and it knocked down walls for others. And she would always leave the door open behind her so everyone else can go through with her. Trailblazer, amazing person. And I'll leave on this. One of my questions of this season that I've asked everybody, I'm like, what's it like playing with Ali Krieger? Or what's it like playing with her in her last season? Because it's not just that, I want to know more about her as a player, but to listen to the reverence people have for her. And I made that joke that find somebody who talks about you the way teammates talk about Ali Krieger. And I sit back and I'm just like listening to them talk with reverence about her. And it's amazing. It's fascinating because she doesn't seem like a real person. Right?
Yeah.
Like nobody should be talked about that way all the time. Like there's gotta be, she's impossible. She's an impossible person. So I'm lucky that I got a chance to see her up close and in person. I got to see her play up close in person. I got to listen to her talk, and through her stories, through her actions, she's amazing. And I just want to say thank you, Allie, for everything, for just being the, she sets the standard for being a player, a friend, a sister, a daughter, a coach, an ally, and just a human being. So again, thank you, Allie.
And I just want to add one more quick thing, which was at the post-game mix zone after the game, Midge Purse was asked about Allie, and this kind of goes into what you were saying about, the way that people talk about you, the way your teammates talk about Allie Krieger is what we should all strive for, because what Midge said was that she doesn't let people in too often. She doesn't let others help or lean on others. But Allie Krieger is someone that she always lets in. And I think that just says everything right there about who she is as a person, a player, a teammate. And she will be missed in this game. But hopefully she sticks around in some capacity around the game. And I'm certain we have not seen the last of her.
Yeah. And I have one more thing to add. Because I just remembered right now. It was one day after a press conference after a game. And I remember I was just standing, in the by the tunnel outside the press conference room. And I was right there, and she walks by and she was like, thank you. So she didn't do press that day, but she just was walking by. You could see like her hair was wet because she just had taken a shower. And she walked by and she just said, thank you for coming. Thank you for being here.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, it took me by surprise because usually, like, I feel like not a lot of players would stop to just say thank you for being there. So I will remember that forever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Agreed. All right, that is the end of our postseason award show. Thanks to everyone who votes and just invests any time, effort into this podcast. This show is designed to connect fans near and far to this team. We love this club. We love covering this team, and yeah, we're one big Soccer Over Gotham family. We all have a collective mission to grow the sport we love. And for Jenna, Ruby, and myself, thanks for listening to episode 88 of Soccer Over Gotham, getting closer to that 100.
That's right.
Getting closer. Hopefully we'll be back with, another recap of another game and another game and another game till we win the championship. But it starts this weekend with the Courage. Are y'all ready?
As ready as I'll ever be.
I'm ready.